Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, then hi, I'm Amy and autumn is my favourite season. Please make sure that you're subscribed to my channel while you're here, and without further ado, let's get into this tutorial for this beautiful autumn fairy makeup look. So before I started recording, I applied some primer to protect my skin. And now we're going to paint on a nice pale peach face paint. Because this is a light shade, I like to paint it on with a brush as sort of a base coat first of all, and then go over the top with a sponge to get a more even finish. Then we're going to take some orange face paint on the straight edge of a sponge, and we're using this to contour the cheekbones, down the sides of the nose, and also kind of use it like bronzer around the hairline and the edges of the face. Make sure you're light-handed with this because it is a bright colour. It's a lot easier to add more than to take some away if you go too crazy with it. Then we're going to take a warm brown face paint on a textured sponge, and we're going to kind of overlap where the orange meets the peach to add a little bit more texture to the base of the look. Now we're going to let the face dry for a moment, and we're going to create a brown to orange to peach ombre from the jawline down to the bra line or wherever your clothing ends. Use a flat brush and work quite quickly and overlap the colours very slightly. That way the paints will blend together without you having to do any extra work over the top, and you'll get that nice gradient effect. So when that's done, you should have something like this. Now we're going to go back to the face. First of all, I'm going to apply a thick layer of water-based glue stick over my eyebrows to protect them, because when that's dry, we're going to use some spirit gum to attach some mini pinecone halves so that we have some nice chunky pinecone eyebrows. Side note, if you're using spirit gum, please make sure that you also have a spirit gum remover. And as you're applying the adhesive, be very careful because this stuff is super strong adhesive and you absolutely do not want to get this in or too close to your eyes. Now we're going to apply a white base to the eyelids, and I'm taking this from the lash line up to the crease. For the inner corners, we're going to take a shimmery white eyeshadow and dab that on. And then for the crease, we're going to use this burnt orangey red eyeshadow, which is matte, and we're going to wing that out slightly at the ends, going up towards the end of the pine cones. For the rest of the lids, I'm using a pale gold, but you could use any warm toned shimmer eyeshadow you wanted. A nice true gold would be amazing, like the new Fenty Trophy Wife highlighter. That would look amazing with this look. For the lower lash line, we're going to use a dark brown matte eyeshadow, and we're going to wing that up towards that crease wing we've just created. Now we're going to bring a little bit more dimension into the face. I'm using a dusky rose coloured blush, and that's going on the entire cheekbone area and also onto the tip of the nose. I think this looks super cute and whimsical, so it's perfect if you're going for a fairy look. Then we're going to take some warm toned bronzer around the hairline and the cheek contours. Now for some highlight, one of my favourite things about makeup. For this look, I'm using a light gold powder highlight, and that's going down the nose, over the top of the cheekbones and on the cupid's bow. Now this bit can get a little bit tricky, so get your mirror up nice and close to you and rest your elbows on the table or vanity or wherever you're sitting, and we're going to apply some little gold jewels along the lash line, and this is going to act as our winged eyeliner. These jewels are just from a craft store, so to keep them in place, we're going to use a dot of eyelash glue. Then with some more of that lash glue, we're going to create a tear shape from the inner corners down, and we're going to add some glitter. I'm using a chunky iridescent glitter for this look, but you can use any kind of warm toned glitter that you like or have. Now because we've got that jewelled winged eyeliner, we want to make sure there's enough definition around the actual eye shape. So we're going to line the waterlines on the top and bottom with black. Then we're going to clean off that liner because we're going to be lining the lips with it as well. And I'm making quite a bold line because we're going to be making an ombre effect. So now we'll add some orange liquid lipstick and we're going to go over the black liner so that the two kind of smudge together around the edges. If you lose too much black in this process, you can go back and redefine that outline again, and that's the lips done. Now for some mascara. I like to go over with a few coats to get a really defined look. If you want to apply some false lashes, you can do. Just make sure that they have a really thin band so that they don't get in the way of that jewelled liner. For a finishing touch to the face, I'm dotting on some gold liquid liner over my nose and cheeks to create some cute metallic freckles. Dot your freckles on randomly and make some a little bit bigger and some a bit smaller, so it looks like a natural pattern. We don't want rows of dots whatsoever, it's better when it looks random. So now we're going to continue down the chest. This technique is super simple and effective. We're going to use a flat brush and we're starting at the base of the tree, having the flat brush flat to the skin, and then we're going to move up and twist the brush onto its side. So it goes from a thick line to a thin one. When you get to the edge of the line, just flick out the brush to make a point. Again, keep it nice and random. Natural shapes are hardly ever exactly symmetrical. All I will say though is that it looks best if the two lowest branches you create are at the same height. Then just keep adding more and more lines branching off until you're happy with the coverage. Another quick note, it also looks better if you wiggle the brush slightly as you go so that the lines are more organically shaped. You can overlap your branches, and depending on how much detail you want to include, you could even go in and add some black shading with some black eyeshadow, but for my look I'm keeping it fairly simplistic. When you're happy with the branches of your tree, we're going to let it dry for a moment, and then using a small pointed brush, we're going to use a few warm toned face paints like yellow, orange and browns, and we're going to press the brush down on its side to create some little teardrop shaped leaves. You're going to want to add some falling down from the tree and around the base of the tree as well. So this is the completed look with all of my leaves on my tree, and I've added a wig with some fake autumn leaves, which I've added into the cap of the wig using some wire. If you want to do the same, just make sure you're careful and always roll the ends of the wire into little loops so there's no sharp edges sticking out. that's it for this entire video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, please stick a little thumbs up on it for me. And if you want to see some more of my work, here's a couple of links to try, and I'll catch you in the next video.